Hello everybody and welcome to VFR today. We are here on the ground in Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting ready to fire up on our next stretch across these United States in the middle of this 310R. So, thank you all for coming along this evening as we continue our Transcon 2022 journey. I did get the new update for the 310, which came out not too long ago. We do need to make sure that all this is set up. So stand by. Still in Honda Jet mode. Gia Twin. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Now I did have to go to IFR for my flight plan. We'll see if we can break out into some VFR once we get out to Amarillo. So that is our goal for this this evening. We are trying to get to Amarillo by morning. For the George Strait song. And we're in that part of the country. In the country music songs about part of the country. So, you know, that's going to be basically it for the rest of the way. Make sure everything is off for the moment. Check levers. That all looks good. Okay. So, brief passenger briefing before we get started and going. We're going to get going here pretty quick and get on our way. It's about a 2-hour flight, so I don't want to dilly-dally. Pull up some Toolkit Pro. So, we are, if we're looking at these United States, we are out. We've went from New York, Pennsylvania, went through Ohio, Indiana, to Chicago, Illinois. And now we're continuing to crash south. We hit St. Louis, and we hit through Joplin, Missouri. Then we're down into Tulsa, Oklahoma here. Near maybe the geometric center of the U.S. What is that in Kansas? And that's up here. So we're flying across majority Oklahoma today. We're going to get into a little bit of North Texas. So that's going to be our goal. Zooming in here, we are, again, kind of in a band of clouds and storms. So we will see how high we can, well, let's see how low we could reasonably fly. I mean, I think we could file 3,000 feet. Tulsa's reporting altimeter 29086, overcast at 1,300 feet. So we're not going to get a good view of Tulsa on this trip, I'm afraid. But it's all right. We're going to fly south of Tulsa. From the Tulsa VOR, just gives us something to track if we lose all navigation again. South to the Will Rogers VOR, India Romeo Whiskey on 114.1, here just south of Oklahoma City International Airport, or Will Rogers World International Airport, or whatever it is. And Tinker Air Force Base is also here. From there, we're going to continue, basically due west to the Burns Flat VOR here. And then continuing on, following the road to Amarillo, Texas. So that's the flight, and it shouldn't be too crazy, but we're going to see some higher elevations once we get up to Amarillo. Once we hit Amarillo, we're starting to talk about the Rocky Mountains and Albuquerque and desert. So this is going to be, you know, a grass stop for a little while at least. So that's enough of that. Let's get this airplane fired up. Generators on, battery switches are on. Go ahead and close the doors. And just make sure I'm not missing anything. We did get pinged for VATSIM Phoenix Tower controller exam. That would be nice. We won't make it that far tonight, but never know. So what have I been saying? We have some nose baggage. We have some rear baggage. And we have an extra passenger. We have been refueling the tanks. We're down to about 50%. I'm just going to bump the mains back up to 100%. We actually ran pretty low on fuel last time. If I recall correctly, we ended up with 8 gallons. So I'm going to fill up my my aux tanks too. And what does that put us? Does that put us over MTOW? No, it does not. We're at 5,200 pounds. So that's good. We'll go with that. I have the GTN 750 in for the moment. If we have to go to radio navigation, we will. Everything else is fine. We'll do a wear and tear check after we get all the way. I don't want to spoil anything now. And the cabin is cool and steady. So what did we say the weather was here at Tulsa, Oklahoma? METAR says 10 surface mile visibility, overcast at 1,300 feet, 12 degrees Celsius. So cool. Altimeter 29886. I always forget altimeters when they don't put them in big purple letters in front of me and yell at me when I'm not changing them. Okay. That's all good. Let's go here and check our panel. Everything seems fine. We need to turn our nav lights on. We're going to get the engine started here too, so let's turn beacon lights on as well. Once we get going, cabin will be over to heat. But that is all good for the moment. Now, was I a good pilot last time? Oh, look at that, I was. We'll put this to the right tank and this to the left tank and go from there. All right. We do have a little bit of lighting on. That's just fine. Mixture's full, rich. Props full forward. We'll crack the throttles just a little bit and get ready to start up. So we have fuel. We have lights on. Mixtures and all that are set. Start the right engines. And you can open up the window and give a good clear prop to those around. Not really anyone here at Tulsa at the moment. Let's go ahead and give it a good start. And that's the right engine coming up. An important check is going to be parking brakes. Are parking brakes set? In this case, they are now. Boost pumps to low. Prime to left. Left magnetos. Now, does Tulsa have a digital ATIS? Let's check it out. Let's check it out and see. KTOL. Tulsa, information Tango, 2353 Zulu. Wind 120 at 12, gusting 22 knots. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's not great. It should be fine. Import flight, sim brief. Let's just see what our options are. I don't have any sim brief. We're looking for a new flight between Tulsa and Alpha Mike Alpha Amarillo. Looking at our runways into Tulsa, let's pull up the chart. So we're out here at 18 right, 36 left. Looks like runway 8 is going to be our best bet. Still got to have an 8-knot crosswind. But that's probably going to be our best bet, and that's going to be straight out and to our left. So we're going to plan on runway 8 for the moment, and we'll see if we can do any better than that. All right, so that's good. Avionics come on. We will let our strobes come on when we're getting closer to the runway. Put up taxi lights as we initialize our system. Now, we are going to be IFR today, at least for the beginning. Maybe when we get out to Amarillo, it'll clear up. But for the moment, we are IFR, and we're going to go to 122.8 to announce our intentions on Unicom, and just do another check to make sure KC Center is not online. They are not. So we're going to be KTOL to comma via the Will Rogers VOR IRW. We want the one in Oklahoma, and then via Bravo, Foxtrot, Victor, Burns Flat. Bravo, Foxtrot, Victor, Burns Flat. Okay. That is all good. We're also going to go ahead and tune in our nav frequency. We're going to be working off of Tulsa on the way out. That would be the Tulsa VOR here. At 114.4. And then we're going to go Will Rogers down here at 114.1. That's good. Just give us a magenta line and some nav aids to work on otherwise. Our initial radial outbound is going to be heading 233. Two, three, and a little bit. All right. So that is nav aids set. We are just about ready to go. We are going to announce our intentions here on Unicom. Last thing to do, we can put pitot heat on. We'll worry about landing lights in a minute. We do have prop de-ice and windshield de-ice as well. All right, let's go ahead and bring parking brake off and taxi forward. We're going to go up to Lima over here, I think, and make the run up. So thank you all for coming along on this, the 6th edition of Transcon 2022. We're flying from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a cloudy day. Out to Amarillo, Texas, before we make the jump after that to Albuquerque. Let's make a radio call. We are trusty 866 Tango Whiskey there. Tulsa traffic, Twin Cessna 866 Tango Whiskey. We're taxiing to runway 8 via Lima, Tulsa. Forgot the last word there. So, simple taxi, and because of how this smaller runway is set up, we don't have to cross anything either. Kind of nice. I'm going to squawk 2000. We're technically IFR today, but uncontrolled airspace. So if Dallas Center comes online, or if Kansas City Center comes online, we are somewhat obligated to talk to them. But again, thank you all for coming along on our flight today. Should be a pretty good one. Hopefully we don't have to divert today. I think we're better prepared for weather coming out of here at Tulsa. If you missed the last stream, we were flying in. Basically, we had to divert because I couldn't get my nav equipment to work. GTN 750 wasn't working. So we had to drop off at a small field in Missouri. Get some of that stuff fixed, plug in some emergency radio nav equipment, and we made the rest of the way doing radio navigation. It was fun. We may do more of that. And I mean, we'll do a little bit of that today, but this is primarily going to be fairly straightforward I-4 flight today. Now, no departure. We're just going to go vectors to our first. We're going to vector ourselves to our first waypoint. So pitot heat on. We turn strobes on. Extend the landing lights. Here short of 8. Again, wind 120 at 12, gusting 22. So strong wind, not exactly a headwind. Bit of a crosswind coming in from the right to the left. So we'll watch out for that as we take off. The last thing we should probably do is turn on our creature comforts and fix our flaps. We'll open this up. We want the temperature control still a little bit with defrost on, and we'll just go fully heated. All right, last look around, make sure we're not going to hit anybody or getting anyone in his way. We are not, so that's good. Tulsa traffic, Twin Cessna 86 Tango Whiskey. We're taking runway 8, going to be departing out to the south, Tulsa. Again, we're climbing 6,000 feet on departure here. And we'll fly runway heading till we're comfortable making a turn towards that magenta line. We will swing it around. The first leg of this trip's about 100 miles from Tulsa down to Oklahoma City. And then from there, probably another 200 towards Amarillo. Bringing power forward. It's full power. That's 80 knots. Whew, there it is. Bumping gusty coming off, but we're up. Nope, bouncing. That's a rather poor crosswind takeoff. But we're flying now, gear coming up. Taxi light needs to come off to stop the clicking. And we're going to focus on our instruments now, climb to 6,000. This cloud layer is pretty low, 1,300 feet. So, after that, we will make a right-hand turn towards our current course. A little bit of uncommanded turn there. Whew. I thought the weather last time was bad. Alright, so let's come off the power a bit, put everything in the green. And we'll continue to climb out at a relatively aggressive pace and start our right-hand turn. Again here, we need to focus on airspeed, make sure we still have airspeed. Easy to get disoriented in this particular phase, but we want to keep going up and keep flying forward. Continuing the turn now. Make sure we're still going up. And we've also got all our de-ice working now too, just in case as we climb on out. Let's keep the right turn going. Basically come back over the field, not that you can see it. Climbing through 3,000 feet now. We're not getting the scenic view of Tulsa today, which is unfortunate. We'll keep it level here and climbing. Hopefully we'll break through. If we don't break through, I'll amend our cruising altitude. feeling pretty good about that. I think I almost see a top of the clouds. And there it is, a good breakthrough. We just had a little bit of spike, so apologies for that, everybody. Crossing through 5,000 feet now. Again, we're looking for 6. The beauty of being IFR means we're not going to be dodging a bunch of clouds. At least for the beginning of the flight. And as we climb, keep increasing the power. $5,800. We can keep leaning out the mixture for the moment. And that's 6,000 right there. Let's level it off. And we will hold this heading for the moment. Looking for 6,000. I'd like to hand fly more of this, but popping in and out of the clouds takes a bit of not paying attention, but paying attention. You can easily get disoriented. Alright, so we are up in the air. Right around 71 horsepower. And we're cruising right along. So it looks today to be another cloudy stream out of Tulsa. Hopefully we'll get some sun towards Amarillo. Thank you all for coming today. As we make our way on VATSIM in our trusty 866 Tango Whiskey, our Cessna 310R, which has made it to the geometric center of the U.S., and we're pushing for beyond. Other fun stuff going on. We have Got to mess around with the Beaver. Did a very enjoyable flight in the Seattle area. And the DHC-2 Beaver the other day. A little seaplane action, which was good. So looking forward to getting that video out. Here, I haven't decided if it's going to go up tomorrow or on Wednesday. But that should be coming out. And then also did a fun Honda jet flight. Up to Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor Regional, or Hancock County Airport, is the airport right next to Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park, if you're not familiar. Good 5,000 foot runway, which is challenging for the H-Jet, but not impossible. So that was a really good flight, too. Had full coverage on VATSIM, so can't ask for much more. So yeah, I've been doing a bit more VATSIM flying lately. That has been enjoyable, although I was thinking about doing the event the other day, but it's just too crazy. I think it was Denver to one of the smaller fields. Was it Orange County, I think? John Wayne. Let's turn our fuel pumps off. The rest of this is fine. How's our cabin? But from what I saw on Twitch and on YouTube, that was just a little bit crazy. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make, I think DC Center has something this weekend, or maybe it's next, but Capital Christmas is 17th. Where they have all three fields. Is that so the 17th is Saturday? Maybe. But all in all, fun stuff going on there. So we were cruising over the clouds, just departed Tulsa. I'm around 7:30. We're pushing to get into Amarillo. Not too long. Just over 2 hours, although we're not making a great ground speed. We probably have a bit of a headwind. Just hanging out, enjoying the clouds for the moment. Thank you all for coming along. On this flight, we're heading out. We're out of Tulsa. We're up to 160 knots. I'm not sure turning further west is going to help us really, but it's all right. We're over the clouds. We do have Albuquerque Center online. So when we get down to Amarillo, we'll need to talk to them to get into the airport there. Still no Dallas, Fort Worth. I should say Fort Worth Center. We're about to cross the border in a moment. And it's nice over top. We still got a lot of wind. They did put up an ATIS for Amarillo. Early returns we're looking at. Clear skies, 10 surface mile visibility, 101.8 wind 180 at 13 knots. So still pretty stiff wind. Altimeter 2960. They're using runway 22 and 13. So we're almost coming up on the Oklahoma City class, Charlie, I think it is. We've basically got a couple different airfields we got to look out for. Picking up Sky Vector here. We're going to be approaching Oklahoma City from the northwest. Flying over Will Rogers, the VOR, the Will Rogers VOR is south of the field at Oklahoma City. We're going to stay here at 6,000. We're technically not in the Oklahoma City Charlie, and we're IFR anyway. So all in all, it doesn't much matter. Thank you all for coming along on this flight today. Our heading for the next one's going to be 258. Then for 79 nautical miles to our next VOR. And that one will be 114.1, I believe. Oh no, that one's 110.0. I'm on heading mode now, so we can actually punch that in. We get to see a little bit of the ground so far. We should be breaking out of clouds here. I don't think we're... I mean, the weather at Oklahoma City... Still heavy wind. 150.14, gusting 23 knots. Overcast at 3,000. Altimeter 2977, which would be worth punching in. So cruising over the clouds here, you're coming up on the Oklahoma City, which surprisingly enough is in the state of Oklahoma. We're gonna basically fly the length of Oklahoma in our quest to get to Amarillo. So we'll get into a little bit of Texas, but not much. Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma. It is, quote, known for cowboy culture and its Capitol complex and oil wells. just cruising out here. Got about a 2-hour flight today. Hopefully the clouds break and give us something to look at. Thank you all for coming along today. This is Transcon 2022, our 6th leg, if I count correctly. Flying from Tulsa out over Oklahoma City, which we're crossing over Tinker Air Force Base now. And then on to Amarillo, Texas. Not much scenery at the moment. We're cruising through the clouds. We are in VATSIM today. We do have Albuquerque Center online, and we're about to cross into Fort Worth, although they're not online technically on an IFR. Well, we're on an IFR flight plan. It's not technically, but I'm hoping as we get further west we can cancel and go VFR. Once the clouds clear, we should be able to do that, but we will have to talk to someone when we get to Amarillo, assuming Albuquerque's still online, because that's Class Charlie. At Amarillo. Just doing a quick fuel check. We are burning a lot. We're still running pretty high power up here in the green. And I mean, we're fighting against a headwind pretty much the whole way, so we'll see. We might bring power back just a bit. That would be just about cruise. That would be a 75% cruise power, so. But we're not going to win any races today, I don't think. At least not the way it's looking. And what did I say this was supposed to be? So Will Rogers is 114.1. So I got rid of the wrong one. And then we need to go heading 258 once we get down there. 25. That should be about 258 there. we're going to do, I'm just going to use my heading control to intercept that VOR outbound. Maintain the illusion of some kind of thought. But see, if we could see it, Oklahoma City International Airport. Will Rogers World Airport, excuse me. Would be off our right wing, again, below the clouds. How much more cloud do we have? I mean, even Amarillo is right on the border of some storms. So we'll wait for the VOR to come in now, and then we'll try and put our nose in the right direction. So we're flying through a stormy central U.S., but we're almost to the end of the Great Plains. We spent the last 2 or 3 legs in it. The viewer just flipped. Here it comes. Watching the needles come in, we're just going to follow that roughly. Due west out towards Amarillo. I'll even settle for the ceiling coming up a little bit. Storms over the Great Plains, not really helping our sightseeing. Just give it another. That's pretty good. Bring it back just a little bit. Speed's increasing too, which is good. Hopefully we're not fighting the wind quite as much. We're still showing 200 pounds in our mains. And we should, if we're correct, have full aux tanks as well. We do. we're on the cruise. So cruising through cloud tops. We are on our way. Wowie Vendor, welcome aboard. It's 3 tons of fun playing. Been enjoying it on our cross-country flights. Although we're in the soup now. Heading from Tulsa down to Amarillo. We've made the turn west. Flying across Oklahoma. And on. So thanks for coming along. Just hanging out watching the clouds go by for the moment. Hoping the weather breaks as we get further west. And if we don't get sun in New Mexico and Arizona, I don't know when we're gonna get it. I guess this is what I get for flying it in December. So our next stop, metaphorically, is the Burns Flat VOR on 110.0. So at, I don't know, 60, this is a 60, 70, this is an 80-mile leg. So about 40 miles, we'll look at switching over to it to navigate off of. We do have the GTN 750, but just for a little added spice, we're using some VORs too. Let's do a quick check on that. Sam, looks like Albuquerque Center's still hanging around, so that's good. So we may have some ATC on the other end. Clouds do look good though. I'll give them that. It's not great scenery for a cross country. Love a good wing view. On our way to Amarillo. Then once we get to Amarillo, after Amarillo, probably Albuquerque is another hour up the road, hour and maybe a half. So, Amarillo to Albuquerque was a good leg, and then Albuquerque into Arizona. I can't remember, did we go through Tucson? It should just be a straight, so it should just be a straight shot across at this point. We're following, in theory, Route 66. So that gets us to Albuquerque, and then across to, yeah, Gallup, Winslow, Arizona. There's a nice untowered field there. That might be good. Winslow, Arizona. Maybe Flagstaff, and then to Flagstaff. So I'm just looking here. Albuquerque, Gallup. We might even stop there. Stop at Winslow, Arizona. What song is that from? We're into the part of the country where there's just songs and all these small places. Flagstaff, Arizona. And then do we cut? I'm not sure where it goes from there. I'm not sure if it cuts through these south to these MOAs. But we're basically going to graze north of Phoenix. And then on through here to California. And we should, at some point, hit Barstow. Up here. So it should just be a straight shot, Barstow, and then into the LA area. So we will end up here, and then we'll head all the way across here. And that's about 100 miles, let's call it. So we still have, 1,000 miles to go. Plenty of time for the weather to get right. How far out are we? We're about 40 miles from the next VOR. And then it's another 100 from there. There's a little bit of land. So I believe that would be the Fort Cobb Reservoir, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder where the line is between Albuquerque Center. We're cruising 6,000 feet today. If the clouds start to come up, we can drop it down and see if we can get below them. We'll have a good METAR between here and there. Yeah, I really only like the wingtip, really. We're getting a peek at Oklahoma. Better than nothing. Going another 30 miles. The Bravo Foxtrot Victor, that's Burns Flat. Let's clean up a little bit here. We'll take that. We'll certainly take that. Got about another 10 minutes before we hit that VOR. Thank you all for coming along today. As we continue Transcon 2022, flying from Tulsa, Oklahoma, we overflew Oklahoma City, a cloudy Oklahoma City. And now we're going to be passing through Burns Flat, VOR station, which is just south of the Clinton Sherman Industrial Park, also known as the Oklahoma Air and Spaceport. One of this airfield is one of 12 FAA licensed launch sites in the U.S. I can't see anything that has actually launched a rocket from there, but they could if they wanted to and paid enough money. But it's got a big runway. It's middle of nowhere, used for test flights too. Boeing's used it to test landing systems for the Autoland for 737s. They have some plans to test XXX or 777X. So it's an interesting little base. One of those big air runways in the middle of nowhere that we were talking about when we were flying over Illinois. It is. It's a 13,000 foot runway. So that's, 2.5 miles. So just cruising over western Oklahoma at this point. We'll be in Oklahoma for a little bit. I also need to keep an eye on the border with Albuquerque Center. Oh wow, looks like we've got Amarillo approach online too. Look at that. So we should be there in another 50 minutes, 45 minutes. If Sim Toolkit Pro is to be believed 50 minutes, but the flight plans don't exactly mesh. See if there's new ATIS for Amarillo. Amarillo information Tango 0053 Zulu. Oh, it's almost an hour ago. A wind 150 at 10 knots, 10 surf mile visibility, clear skies. 12C, 11 on the dew point. Altimeter 29er, 59er. They're still using visual approach. Landing, departing runway 22 and runway 13. Let's take a look at the charts. So Amarillo. Amarillo morning. Hold up. Amarillo. Looks something like this. We've got the long runway here, a big 13,000 footer, and the 8,000 foot runway over here. They say they're running using runway 22 and what did they say? 22 and 31? I don't remember that. Yeah, using 22 and 13. So they're using 22 or 13. Depending on the wind, I think we want 13 because we're a small light plane. We could easily land on that runway, and then that would work out just fine. The FBO is down here. There's a little terminal here, so if we come down here on Charlie, we'll go to the FBO down on that side. So that's Amarillo. That's what to expect at Amarillo. We're not going to do any. We will plan for visual all the way in. So coming up now, it's going to be a slight right-hand turn, and we could also, not to rock the boat too terribly much, and I should have gone to heading mode first. But, we could tune that in, and then, what did I say our last heading was going to be? My memory of goldfish. 265. So we want to go to 26 here. And then a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. We're already pretty much bang on it. Heading inbound, and then we'll fly through it. So we'll fly with the heading mode for now. Ground speed coming up too, so that's good. We're making a little better progress here. We're still a little bit in the clouds. If this clears up a little bit more, I think we can call it VFR. But that'll be the plan once we get down to Albuquerque Center. All right. We can also do an altimeter check at Charlie Sierra Mike, Clint Sherman. Show an altimeter 2969. So it's still, I mean, just dropping as we go west. See, that's what I was hoping to see. A little bit of the clouds breaking here. We'll see if that holds. So thank you all for coming along. If you're just joining us, we're about halfway. We're making the final turn for the final leg, 123 miles from Amarillo, Texas. And we departed Tulsa, hour and a half ago. Cruising our Blackbird simulation Cessna 310R. Trying to get to Amarillo. Heading for Texas. We'll go ahead and let it. Doesn't like, wow, I did that, but we'll let it capture the radial outbound. Heading 265 for 123 nautical miles. Then for Amarillo. So we should get picked up too by Albuquerque Center. And that weather looks pretty good. So it looks like there's still some storms just off to the north of Amarillo. But the Amarillo weather seems to be holding relatively constant. This looks like there's a little bit of traffic departing. So the storm's there. Yeah, we can go low and slow for a little bit, I think. This is all looking pretty good. My only concern is that line out there. If we can get around that, and I think we might be able to get under it if we went VFR. Worst case, you got to reacquire an IFR clearance or stay away. We can also go above. I, prefer not to. Just because, who knows what it'll be, if that'll be our last chance before Amarillo. It's a little bit more sparse out here, not a ton of airports, especially not a ton of towered airports reporting METARs. We can think ahead a little bit. Amarillo Center is going to be, or Albuquerque Center, not Amarillo Center. 132.8. 132.8. And we can also pick up a VOR, well, we could use either. We could use either the Panhandle VORTAC on 116.6. Which is probably what we'll do. We'll just report our position relative to that. Still 100 miles out. So there is some open. Let's see. Can we get some weather? We do have a convective segment above us. Just covering. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Whereas where's Hemphill? I don't see that one. as we get closer, I think we're going to keep it IFR for the moment. We're just flying straight into Amarillo. It's not going to change anything. We're just not going to be bouncing around. But I don't really want to... We don't have to do a... we don't have to do a big switch to... We're not going to be flying downtown or doing any kind of river flyby or anything like that. While I still have control of my own flight plan, though, I am going to descend us to... Well... That's a good question. I don't know how far to descend us. The elevation actually increases quite a bit here. We get up to landing elevation in Amarillo is something like 3,600 feet. So, you know, where the land is kind of getting higher and higher as we go. So I'd be uncomfortable going much lower than 6. Yeah. I guess that's really why I chose it. Thanks for coming along. We are about 90 miles now west of Amarillo. We can start listening to Amarillo Center 132.8, see what's going on. Put them on comm 2 for the moment. Let's see if we get anything. Fuel check. We are on down to about 100 pounds in the mains.
Southwest 2341, contact Amarillo approach on 119.5 today.
We can do a little bit of fuel management if we so desire. We still should have about 200 pounds in the aux tanks, about 180. But since we're in kind of the last 30 minutes or so of the flight, not going to worry about too much, but we have crossed kind of that 90-minute threshold for switching tanks in the 310. It's cruising along, basically following the road. I don't know what it is out here, but again, if you missed some of the past streams, we're roughly following
Center, good evening, United 1183 Heavy with you, flight level 370.
the path traced by Route 66
United 1183
from Chicago, where we landed a couple times ago, through St. Louis, Oklahoma City, and now Amarillo. This is the Interstate 40. And US Route 66 runs alongside the Interstate 40. At least out here. We're about to hit Texas.
United 1183 radar contact 52 miles west of Buckeye Viewer.
I believe. I'm not sure exactly where the border is. Actually, yeah, we're about coming up on the border now. We are about to leave Oklahoma and hit Texas. We're going to clip Texas in the north top part. The part that carves the panhandle out of Oklahoma. Still flying off of the Burns Flat VOR.
American 5822, amend altitude, maintain flight level 320 for traffic.
Amending altitude to 320, American 5822.
And if our navigation is to be believed, we're about half hour out from Amarillo, and there's a contact me, Albuquerque Center. So let's refresh ourselves. We are Twin Cessna 866 Tango Whiskey. We are, they know where we are, and we're at 6,000 feet. So let's go ahead over to 132.8 here and just put some nonsense in. COM 2.
Albuquerque Center, Southwest 256, passing through 16,000 for flight level 240.
Southwest 256, Albuquerque Center, maintain flight level 240.
Maintain flight level 240, Southwest 256.
Albuquerque Center, good evening. Twin Cessna 866 Tango Whiskey. We are at 6,000 feet.
November 866 Tango Whiskey, Albuquerque Center, squawk 0715.
0715 for 86 Tango Whiskey. 0715. Alright, we're now controlled. If we get through this kind of line of clouds and it looks good, we can always say we want VFR. We can cancel IFR, go VFR to Albuquerque, but it doesn't much matter. We're flying a straight line for another 80 miles till we get there.
November 866 Tango Whiskey, radar contact 82 miles east of Panhandle VOR. The Amarillo altimeter is 2959er.
Copy the altimeter, 866 Tango Whiskey. We're a little far out to use that.
Frontier Flight 312, clear direct Ziggy.
Clear direct Ziggy, Frontier Flight 312.
So we've now hit Albuquerque Center, and that's another milestone, I think, in our flight. That means that that is our second to last center that we're going to fly through. So if we track the centers we've flown through, we flew through New York. We flew through... Did we touch D.C.? I don't think we touched D.C. Center. We definitely hit Ohio, or Cleveland Center. We definitely hit Indy Center. We hit Chicago Center. We got out of a long stretch in Kansas City Center. And we did get a little bit of Fort Worth Center, too, so... We're carving a nice little path across the national airspace. Albuquerque, and then it's just LA Center. So we're still a long way from our destination. But in other ways, we're still kind of close. Looks like there's a decent amount of traffic down at Phoenix tonight. I think they were doing an exam or something. Gonna give us a little more power, try and get us home a little quicker. Oh, but so far so good on this flight. Let's check on our passengers. Comfort. Cabin is cool and steady. That's good. We've got enough fuel to make it, looks like 100 pounds. We're burning about 100 an hour. A little more even. 105 an hour, which is fine because we've got about half an hour left. So, if we were going much more, I'd switch over to the aux tanks, but since we're going to make most of the way there relatively quickly, I'm not too worried about it. That's what Sim Toolkit Pro is saying. I might like their answer better for ET 23 minutes. I do like their answer better.
United 238, Denver Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good day.
And Albuquerque Center is one of those that I haven't flown a ton in. I think it's up there with Salt Lake. I feel like I don't fly in Cleveland much.
Frontier Flight 312,
or
Denver
Memphis
Center
or
is
Kansas
offline.
City.
If you hold that Mach number till you start your descent, the spacing will be good all the way. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Lovin, Frontier Flight 312, we'll keep that speed if we can.
It's cruising here at 6,000 feet. We just crossed over into Albuquerque Center. We just crossed over into the panhandle of Texas. We're in Texas, heading towards Amarillo. Once we land in Amarillo, it'll be on to Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and then Los Angeles. So we have, 3 or 4 more legs, depending on how the streams go.
American 5822, climb maintain level 340.
Up to 340, American 5822.
And this is nice now that we've gotten kind of past some of the thick cloud cover out over Tucson. We're out over Tulsa, not Tucson. Tulsa was tough. We had a low IFR approach. Had to shoot the ILS. Pretty pure instrument flying there. and then we got to do a pretty pure departure.
Albuquerque Center, Pier 9730.
Hopefully we get some better weather here.
Pier 9730, Albuquerque Center, hello, squawk 0724.
Thank you all for coming along. Continuing Transcon 22. Following Route 66 now, just below us. Well, not quite, but the highway kind of tracks the way we would be going.
KR 921, contact Phoenix approach 128.65.
128.65, KR 921, thanks.
And just prepping the Amarillo weather. Let's see if we can pick up the ATIS in real world. 118.85 is what is advertised.
Altimeter 2958. Visual approach is in use. Landing and departing runways 22 and 13. Notices to air mission. Read and hold short instructions with runway designator and call sign. Taxiway Papa Ford advise on initial contact. You have information uniform. Rick Hudson, Amarillo Airport, ATIS information uniform 0153 Zulu.
Okay.
West 160 at 16 gust 23. Visibility 10. Sky clear below 2000.
The Dona Center carrier
Temperature 12. 2.11.
50.
Altimeter 2958. Visual approach is in use. Landing
KR 831, Albuquerque Center, radar contact, squawk 07.
Notices to air mission. Read and hold short.
All right.
0706, thank you.
2223. Let's just talk through our. I think we're still looking at 1.3. It's kind of nasty. Wind 16 knots, gusting 2-3 knots. Is suboptimal, but that should be okay. I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna end up on a visual approach for 1.3. But if we do need an approach, we can ask for. We can ask for 1.3. There's a VOR DME.
KR 831, Prescott altimeter 30, correction.
I can't use the TACAN.
291, thank you, and good evening.
We could use the VOR DME if we want to, but that could put us at Shelby. So the VOR DME
Southwest 256, Los Angeles Center's
could be a
offline,
little
radar
fun.
service terminated.
Fly a little DME arc.
Frequency change approved, good day, Southwest 256.
An 11 DME arc, starting here at Jilpy, and then coming up to a final approach course there, and which is also offset, so that's fun. I don't think that's going to be our first choice, but
November 866 Tango Whiskey, contact Amarillo approach 119.5. Good day.
119.5 for 866 Tango Whiskey. All right, so let's go over to approach and talk to them. They're going to ask us what we want to do.
And short craft, and I'll be right back.
119.5, 1195. So, where are we? We are... let me switch VORs too here for a minute. We are 50 west of the Panhandle VOR. Not really what I wanted it to do. But that's alright. Come on, straighten it out. Amarillo approach, Twin Cessna 866 Tango Whiskey. We are 55 to the east of the Panhandle VOR 6000.
Twin Cessna 866 Correction Tango Whiskey, Amarillo approach, Amarillo altimeter 2958, expect visual approach, runway 22.
All right, we'll expect the visual approach for 22, 866 Tango Whiskey. Let's see. Let me run the numbers on that. I don't know if I like that. 1322 would give us. Well, let's visualize a little bit. I want to know my crosswind component if I'm coming in on 22. That's not 310, so I'm not a small, tiny plane, but not a big plane. AMA. Yeah, so that's pretty nasty. I don't want it.
Southwest 2341, 9 miles from 6B, turn right heading 210, maintain 8, correction, maintain 5,100 till established on the localizer, cleared LDA, runway 22 approach.
Set fly heading 210, Southwest 2341.
So I think we'll call them up and we will ask if there's any chance we can get 1-3.
Heading 220, maintain 5,100 till established, cleared LDA, runway 22 approach.
I mean, if you want to visualize, let's.
22 approach, Southwest 2341, thanks.
If you want to visualize, let's visualize AMA. And here's why I shudder at the idea of runway 22.
Approach Southwest.
METAR tap. We've got.
Go ahead.
We can confirm it's just a cow pasture.
Oh, on here I thought it was going to be something interesting.
So here we've got 22, which is a pretty. Whew, that's a 16 knot wind coming from left to right. Now that doesn't fill me with warm fuzzies in my little GA airplane. And but if we go 1-3, it's not quite so bad. So as long as 1-3's open and they're advertising it as open on their ATIS, we should be able to take 1-3. But we'll call them when we get a little bit closer, maybe 20 miles out. We'll see if they can give us 1-3. Uniform altimeter 2958 is what they said. So this is, I mean, altimeter's low too. Woof. Oh boy. So this may end up being interesting after all, even if it's just a visual approach. Again, we're about 45 miles, about 15 minutes out from Amarillo. We're cruising now towards Amarillo. Thank you all for coming along. We're prepping our approach. We got about 15 minutes till we hit. We are with Amarillo approach.
Wind 160 at 16, gust 2 to rear, runway 22, cleared to land.
Yeah, that 160 at 16. is what concerns me. But again, we'll kind of wait. Just in case something changes down the line. Weather looks good. There's that. We'll keep an eye out over. Start looking for the field now. We're still on approach, so that's good.
Southwest 2341, welcome to Amarillo, left when able, pop at parking. Good night.
Left when able, pop at parking. Thanks. Good night, Southwest 2341. Thanks for the fun approach.
Oh, you know it. I was just surprised people actually flew in here.
Well, you're never on. I'd fly in here much more.
I'm only on because I'm trying to get my C1.
That's awesome. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
We are hanging out here about 30 miles still to the east of the airport. And the co-located, I think it's co-located, Amarillo, or Panhandle VOR, not Amarillo. But yeah, out over Texas. Now, I don't know if this is considered West Texas. I don't know how Texans feel about the Panhandle. Like, it's not El Paso, but I'm sure there are strong opinions about what is and isn't West Texas, I assume, right? I think anything west of Dallas and Austin, but I don't know. I don't know my Texas. I confess. We're starting to see the airport coming in on our little touch screen. That's good.
Hey, Twin Cessna 6 Tango Whiskey, approach.
Go for 866 Tango Whiskey.
Wind is 160 at 16, gusting 23. Would you like runway 16 instead?
Affirmative. I have 13. Can we get 13?
Expect vectors visual approach runway 13.
Alright, we'll expect vectors visual approach runway 13, 866 Tango Whiskey.
If you want, I can give you an instrument approach in, but yeah, you can expect runway 13.
Yeah, no, visual is fine. We'll take visual for 13 is good. Thanks. Alright, that's good. That's a nasty crosswind for a little plane like ours. A big jet, you know, we can do it. But 1-3 gives us, I think, the best chance. Now 1-3 also gives us a real long taxi to rebrief the airport. We're out. We're gonna be so this is Amarillo. You got runway 22, the long one here, 13,000 feet, really long actually. And then you get, I'm not sure if there's a National Guard or anything around here. Imagine, or maybe it used to. That's always the answer. But anyway, 1-3, we're going to take the smaller runway, 1-3, it's 8,000 feet, 7,900 feet. And we will exit right onto Kilo when we get down, and then taxi down to the FBO that way. So, that's the plan. It shouldn't be too crazy. But yeah, that 1-6 gusting 2-3 sucks for runway 22 for us, because it ends up being much more significant crosswind. I mean, if I was even in a bigger airplane, I might, you know, you might entertain 1-3. Okay, so let's start getting a little mentally prepared here for our vectors. So now it's opened up pretty nicely. I think this is quintessential Western Texas. About 20 miles now west of, or east of Amarillo. And I'm not sure what they're going to do for us. There's a prohibited airspace north of Amarillo.
Cessna 6 Tango Whiskey, Amarillo Airport, 12 o'clock, 20 miles, report airport in sight.
Roger, we're looking for the airport. It's Tango Whiskey. Oh, we may not be able to see it for a minute, but long sight lines. I do not have the field in sight yet, but we may be able to enter.
6 Tango Whiskey, turn right heading 300.
Right heading 300, 6 Tango Whiskey. Right heading 300. Now I might still be, hope we don't get stuck in these clouds, but we'll see. Now we're cooking 196 knots ground speed. Chris, welcome aboard. Greetings from Houston. You just landed the 414, and good thing they were wearing their seatbelts. So yeah, I've asked our passengers to buckle up too. Wind, I don't know how the weather was in Houston, but we're staring down the barrel of 15 gusting or 16 gusting 23 knots. Luckily, we're taking the short runway here at Amarillo, so but. So we're boogieing about as well as we can. Anything else that needs to happen before we get ready for landing? We do have fuel. We've got 60 pounds in both tanks at least. All our lights are on. We're looking for the airport off our left now. I still don't see it. We're 15 to the north, which means that may be a bit of a tall order, but let's see if we can get around these clouds and keep.
Cessna 6 Tango Whiskey, Amarillo Airport will be about your 9 to 10 o'clock, 10 miles, report airport in sight.
Roger that. Twin Cessna 86 Tango Whiskey, we have the airport in sight.
Cessna 6 Tango Whiskey, cleared visual approach, runway 22. Correction, runway 13.
Roger, cleared visual approach runway 13, yeah, 6 Tango Whiskey. Alright, so I'm looking for this. Let me just see where I'm at, because I don't want to bust that. But it may not always be active. I don't know. So we're gonna... So there's the field. I'm just gonna kind of swing around here. I'm gonna swing around this restricted area here, and then we'll come in from the north and basically enter on a long base. For, well, basically enter on a long base for runway 13. Field elevation is 3,600. So 4,600. We're cleared for the visual, so I'll go ahead and start setting up to get down to 4,600, a good pattern altitude. And we'll just keep swinging around here. So that, I believe, is the prohibited airspace. I'm not sure what it is. But we'll loop around it. And there is the airport right down there. That's runway 22. We're looking for runway 3 or 13. So we're going to basically come this way. And let's start our descent now. We'll pull power back a little bit. And just start a gentle descent. We're about 10 to the north. So let's go left now, heading 240. And just pull a little bit of power too here. So thank you all for coming along. We're getting ready to shoot our visual approach. Not really shooting a visual approach, but getting ready to head into Amarillo, Texas. On runway 13, we've got a nice hefty wind. That's what we're staring down the barrel of. The field, I lost it. Where is it? There's the airfield right there. So this is actually pretty good. I don't, you know, we can tighten it up a little bit, but tighten it up and let's start bringing speed back too. So we're gonna go 15 inches. We'll lean it up a little bit. And so I'm gonna actually also go to, if I go over to, not really. So we need to, I'm just gonna bug 13 with my, I'm just gonna bug that final heading of 13. That's pretty close. We can even make it a little bit more in. I don't really have a good view of runway 13 right now. I can see 22, but not really 13. So we're gonna follow the road down here. We're at 4,600 feet or more. More or less, we're descending through 5,000. Get flight recorder going. So we're cruising, we've got 150 Indicated now, altimeter 2958. What Amarillo is showing. We're basically going to kind of follow this road up until we get a good view of the runway. I'm down kind of low, kind of early, but it's fine. I have heading mode selected on the Bravo, so I can kind of do that without futzing with the mouse. So we'll get down into the white arc here. And as soon as we're comfortable, gear can come out. I don't really want to be super fast. There it is. Did the, I'm just, for my own edification, did the runways cross? They do not quite cross. So that's probably the start of 213 right there.
Twin Cessna 6 Tango Whiskey, wind 160 at 16, gust 23, runway 13, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 13, 6 Tango Whiskey. Alright, gear coming down. We are cleared to land. Landing lights are on. Everything else is good. We're going to put fuel boost pumps to low, just in case we have to go around. And we'll rich up the mixture a little bit. Just see where that gets us to. So we're getting a little slow now, 100 knots. I'd like to be a little bit better than that. We'll give 1 notch of flaps, and I'm going to take control. Getting a little bit of nose up. Let's actually fly the plane, huh? Here it comes. Let's get some situational awareness. Zoom in here. We're cleared to land. And again, I'm just kind of coming in on a long base. So we're at 4,500 feet. We're about 900 feet above the field. Gear is down. Flaps. We've got flaps 1 set. We can go all the way. I'm going to turn out onto final. There's 1-3. Thankfully, not a lot of commercial traffic right now. Alright. We'll give the last notch of flaps now. A little bit of power, keep us around 100. We will then kind of slow down to 90 to 100 knots would be where we want to be. And this might be the laziest little base to final turn in recorded history. It is funny how small you feel as a piston twin in an airspace with big jets going fast. Like a big jet would have been added from the time they talked to approach to the time you actually get to the airport. You'd probably be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Maybe if you were coming down from higher, but some of them are coming down from like 20,000. We're at 6,000 feet. We've been at 6,000 feet the whole time. There's final. We want to taxi down to the FBO kind of on that corner. Let me clear my scratch pad too while I'm at it. I got a pen. We're a little low on the pappies. Little low, flaps down, you're down. We'll hold the power in. I'm gonna err on the side of having more power in just because of how much wind there is. I'm not too worried about. We got plenty of runway to work with. If I approach at a slightly higher speed. coming down now. Keeping power in. Gently reducing. Holding it off the runway now.
6 Tango Whiskey, turn right when able, parking via Kilo Papa. Good night.
Alright, right when able, Kilo Papa to parking. Thanks for the ATC, 866 Tango Whiskey. Ah. 60, okay, so that, you know, it just, that comes out as a 66 foot per minute. Not that it matters, but, I wasn't even on the ground yet. Which is always up. There's our parking. Let's try and go right when able here. Let's vacate this runway. Taxi lights on. Strobes can come off. Landing lights can be retracted. And then we are cleared to taxi via Kilo Papa. So Kilo down here, left on Papa, then parking. We'll be we'll park at the FBO off our left. So welcome to Amarillo, everybody. We've got a little bit of a long taxi here. We got to do some groundwork. Yeah, well, I'll take that. It's not easy, but it's also not, I mean, it's not a very flattering plane. Snip, welcome. Thanks for coming along. We made it. The wind wasn't that bad, actually. It would have been a nightmare on 2-2, but 1-3 was fine. It's crazy how big these runways are. I mean, we've talked about it back in Illinois, but that's an 8,000 foot runway. What's DCA's longest runway? Certainly. Yeah, I mean, so that's... So the runway we just landed on is the short runway at Amarillo, and it's longer than anything at DCA. It's just funny how scale changes with airports out here. I should focus on my taxi. We're turning left on Papa here at the intersection. And then gonna park on the left. Alright, welcome to Amarillo, everybody. We have made it. Well, it's a nice day here, actually, apart from the wind. But we'll make that work. So next time on Transcon 22, we're going to be going out to Albuquerque. Another hour and a half probably up the road. And then we'll see if we can get to somewhere like Winslow, Arizona. I'm swerving all over the place. And that's that almost a direct crosswind. Oof. All right, let's disconnect and fire up a replay. thank you all for coming along on this flight for Transcon 22. We'll be back next week with the leg to Amarillo. 866 Tango Whiskey here. We will play out with our landing into Amarillo today. Good fun flight. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 more legs on this trip to go. We'll start thinking about what's next. So thank you all, as always, for coming along. Appreciate the support. Always great, great fun. And yeah, let's see how bad we floated.